So I'm not sure how many people actually saw my post in YouTube last week, but I did make a post asking people to leave a comment if they would like me to make them a HAZBIN Hotel / Haluva Boss OC. Thing is, I made the mistake in setting the post to expire in 24 hours, so not many people actually got to comment in there, but we do have 30 comments, so 30 people that I can choose from, of course, randomly. With that in mind, I wanted to set a few rules in how I'm going to choose the person I'm going to make the OC for, and how I'm even going to create the OCs in the first place, because knowing HAZBIN Hotel and Haluva Boss, there is a variety of OCs that you can make with how versatile the characters could be. And by that, what I mean is that there's different creatures that resides in hell. What I'm about to show you may not be completely accurate, but it's something that I can work off with. So looking at the table above, you could see that in each ring there resides a certain individual or sets of individuals. For example, in the Pride ring there would be sinners, in the Sloth ring there would be the Balthameths, and in the Wrath ring there will be the imps. Thing is, we could see that certain creatures are allowed to travel outside that designated ring. For example, the imps in Haluva Boss, we could see them being in the Wrath ring, but also they reside in their office, which I think might be in the Pride ring, I'm not too sure. What I'm trying to say is that I'll be using their designated sins that is randomly chosen and create a character based off of that sin, based on the type of creature that resides on that sin's ring, if that even makes sense. So for example, if I spin this wheel and someone gets a OC based on Pride, well then I'll be creating a Sinner OC for them. And should the wheel land on Lust, well then I'll be creating them a Succubi or Incubi OC. I also have wheels for certain demographics such as their height and their gender, but I also have one particularly for whether they are an overlord or not. Some people may be wondering if I would still spin the overlord wheel even if the character wheel doesn't land on a sinner, because so far the only overlords that we know are sinners, and my answer to that question is yes, I will still spin the wheel regardless of whether they are a human or a hellborn. I know that that might not be accurate in the show because we haven't been introduced to a hellborn overlord yet, but we'll just go along with it for fun. And for the character's colour scheme, I found this table in Pinterest. I'll roll a number between 1 and 31 and choose a colour palette based on what I get. Now without any further ado, let's get on with the video. For the first person, Google told me to choose the 8th person, which is Cosmic Sea of Stars. Thank you for commenting. And the spin the wheel told me to give them a female character who's small in terms of height. For their sin, they belong in the Gluttony ring, which tells me that they are a dog character and they aren't an overlord. For her colours, we got colour scheme number 4, which is this really nice rust to gold colour. Before I start talking about this character, I want to reiterate the fact that this might not be completely accurate just because we're using a random table that I've found in Google. You could also see earlier that I changed some stuff around in there as well. So for example, in the Greed ring, instead of the loan sharks, I put in clowns and jesters, which may not be completely accurate again to the show, but it's just based on the fact that Mammon is a clown type character, so all of the, I guess, characters that are residing in his ring, the Greed ring, I would like to look like him. Same goes with the Envy ring, but of course we have no idea what Leviathan looks like yet, but all of the fish-like characters I will be associating with the Envy ring. Now off to this character, we know for a fact that there are different types of dog characters in Haluva Boss and HAZBIN Hotel, and they are based on different breeds of dogs that we have in real life. For example, Luna is, I think, a wolf or a husky, but there's also a poodle dog that she didn't really like in Beelzebub's party, and there's also the Doberman dog that was seen guarding Stolas as well. But for this OC, I decided to go with a Cockerel Spaniel just because of the character description I was given. Certain breeds of Cockerel Spaniel also have really long wavy ears, and I wanted to kind of showcase and exaggerate that for this character just because I thought it was really cute that she was so small yet her ears/hair is so long. I could also imagine that she would work in a cafe as some sort of waitress. I don't know why, but the hot chocolate part of the colour scheme reminded me of a little waitress from some diner, which is why I gave her a long dress and some apron as well. You could see that I stuck some straws in her hair to kind of just exaggerate that part that she is a waitress, so she's probably quite frantic around the whole diner trying to give customers the things that they want. Not gonna lie, she is giving me quite nifty vibes, and perhaps I've taken some inspiration from Nifty unconsciously as well, but I thought that she was a really cute character. And of course, after all the rendering and line colouring, this is what she ended up looking like. Only thing I would change is her hair colour, perhaps to match her skin colour, just because it's technically fur, but Cosmic Sea of Stars, I hope you like her. And we're back with Google generating a random number for us, and this will be the 12th person, which is Jadamore. And for that character, we have a male who's generally tall in terms of height. And for his sin, we got Lust, so he will be an incubi who is not an overlord. And for his colour palette, we got the last palette, which is this nice red tone colour with some yellow. For succubis and incubis, the features that they have that are quite distinct with each other is that they tend to have long horns with black tips, and they do have a tail that is generically a heart shape. They also come in pink or red skin colours, and to make sure that this is definitely an incubi OC, we will be following that standard as well, so we'll be giving him a red skin tone a bit later on when I'm colouring him as well. The only thing is that his colour palette might clash with his skin tone, and you might be saying or wondering, why can't I just use the colour palettes for his skin tone? Well, that's because I wanted to follow certain species' rules or standards when it comes to their character design. As I said earlier, incubis and succubis tend to have long horns with black tips and a heart-shaped tail. If I weren't following that standard, well then I wouldn't have needed to add that to this character. So for the sake of consistency, I wanted to give him red or pink skin so that we follow the standards for incubis or succubis. Anyways, in the series we do find that incubis and succubis tend to be quite playful and of course seductive, which is why I kind of posed him to stick his tongue out and also give a relaxed type of pose. As a part of that character, we do see that incubis and succubis tend to wear quite revealing clothes. Often they're quite short, they're torn, or they include some sort of fishnet around them. Which, to be fair, I should have included for this guy now that I've mentioned it, just because he's a bit plain. I did only give him a tank top with a large belt and skinny jeans, which is quite standard for incubis. To me, he does look a bit too clean, a bit too perfect, so perhaps I should have ripped his jeans a little bit, maybe given him some bracelets or some necklace to add to his character. But if you guys look closely, you do see that I've added some heart tattoos on his neck and on his arm as well. For his hair colour, I did start off with blonde first, but that didn't really suit him. I tried orange as well, but that clashed way too much with his skin colour, so I ended up using that rusty red colour instead. And this is his finished look. The only thing that I would definitely change would probably be the colours of his clothes. It doesn't really give the incubi vibes at all, but I do like that red leather jeans that he's wearing. I hope you like him, Jadamore. For the next person, we will be choosing the third person who commented, which is A. And they will also be having a male character who's also on the tall side of the spectrum. But this time, the sin would be pride, so they will be a sinner who's not an overlord. And for the colour palette, we will be using this nice cream to lavender palette. As soon as I saw the character description from the Spin the Wheel as well as the colour palettes, I immediately thought of a butler type character. Since he's our first sinner character, he does come with a law. So my backstory for him is that he was quite an unfortunate child. He had to take care of his siblings because his parents were no longer present. And in order to take care of his younger siblings, he worked as a servant for a prestigious family, who then promoted him to become the head butler at some point. However, as the prestigious family got into some legal and financial troubles, they then refused to pay any of their servants, including their head butler, which is this guy. Angered by the rich family's selfishness, he decided that the only way to take revenge is by poisoning them. Apparently, a large consumed amount of lavender oil can be enough to kill a person, so perhaps he knew how to extract lavender oil and create a very concentrated version of this oil and served it to the rich family as some lavender tea, which is actually concentrated poison. However, when the rich family suddenly passed away all at the same time, authorities and detectives then found out out and somehow connected the poison to him, which led to his own execution by his own method, which is he was forced to drink his own poison. So that would be his law, and I wanted to associate that law with his design, which is why you could see me kind of put butterflies all across his design as well. We all know that butterflies and bees really like the smell of lavender. It's basically a magnet to them, which is why I wanted to really associate that butterfly design on him, and instead of giving him a typical HAZBIN Hotel Helluva Boss bow, I decided to give him a butterfly bow instead, which I think is a really cute feature. I gave him a pair of antennae as well to add to the design. And this is his final design. He does look sort of like Alistair with the way he is dressed, but we can kind of say that he and Alistair came from around the same timeline. But I hope you like him, eh? For the next randomized person, we got person 28, which is High Shipper. And this time they got a female character who's in the medium side, and their sin. Their sin is also Sloth, which means that they are a Baphomet character. And this time it's also our first Overlord character, which is quite nice. They will have color palette number 20, which is this grey and brown color. We don't actually get to see much of the Baphomets across the HAZBIN Hotel and Helluva Boss series. The only notable times I remember them was that one doctor that was supposed to vaccinate Luna, and that one nurse or receptionist that couldn't find Blitz's name in the list. In terms of their character designs, they tend to resemble a distorted goat, which is kind of reasonable, I guess, because they're goats in hell. But one thing that really caught my eye is that the both of them, as far as we know, they tend to have a pastel look into their character design, which was going to be a bit difficult when it comes to incorporating that color palette that was randomly chosen versus what the standards are for Baphomets, since we don't really see them too often. So assuming that Baphomets follow the character design I have in my head about them, we definitely do need to add some standards to this particular character, which means that we need to add some sort of pastel design onto her, plus the color palette that I have also randomly chosen. So for her character design, I wanted to incorporate the Baphomet looks as well, which is why you could see I gave her horns, the ears, I gave her the goat looking eyes, and of course the hooves. I also wanted to make her look a little bit more special and more complicated compared to the other character designs, just because she is the only overlord that we have so far. So in my head, Sloth is being lazy, and in my head, I think being lazy is kind of oversleeping and making yourself feel lethargic to the point where you can't really do anything else, which is what I'm feeling right now. So I decided to kind of turn her hair into a cloud of smoke that makes people feel sleepy and almost too compliant for her. I wanted to give her a crown as well to symbolize the fact that she comes from power. I did of course add in the greys and browns that was originally given to me in the color palette, but I also gave her that pink pastel look just so that she fits in with the Baphomet vibes. But High Shipper, I hope that you like your Overlord OC. Just because we're running out of time right now, I'll be doing one more person, which is Star Wish Pony. And thank you for the compliment as well, that really means a lot. For you, we shall have a female character who's our first tall female character, and she will also be a sinner from the Pride Ring. Will she be an Overlord? Not this time, but for her color palette we got number 9, which is the Shrek color. I'm so sorry. Not gonna lie, I didn't actually look through all of the color palettes when I chose that table, just because I just wanted to find a big table that has a variety of colors, and I saw that one. I didn't realize that there was a color palette called Shrek in there, but we'll have to make it work, unfortunately. The palette itself, it's not too bad. It's not completely out of place, just because in episode 1, season 1 of HAZBIN Hotel, when Charlie was going around the town singing about how it's going to be a happy day in hell, and there was that one scene where the slug guy came up to her and asked her to touch him, and he was a sort of green brownish color, so I guess it's not too off the show that we have a green purple character color scheme for this OC as well. I'm not going to be mean and give you a slug character, but I thought that it would be really cool if I gave you a sludge-like character or a slime-like character. And her lore is that she was trying to hide a body in the swamps, but she ended up getting trapped in there as well and ended up drowning herself, which is why she has a sludge mud character scheme going on right now with her body and her hair. If you look closely, I did give her Shrek ears as well, just for fun. And this is what she looked like in the end. I actually think she is genuinely quite cute, and she has to be one of my most favorite character designs, even though the color scheme was a bit of a meme. But Star Wars Pony, I hope you actually like her as well. Well, that's it for the end of this video, and if you were one of the people that got chosen, I hope you guys like the characters I made for you. But if you weren't chosen this time round, I really am sorry. I did try to make it as fair as possible, but there is always next time. If you guys really like this kind of video, let me know and I'll make more in the future as well, so that other people can have another chance as well to get a character made for them. And also, thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers. I can't believe that we've actually reached that. Currently, I think we are at 2,700 something subscribers, and I really do appreciate that. It means so much to me that you guys enjoy my content. And if we do reach 5,000 subscribers, which I think would be amazing, I'll do another special video as well in the future. But with that in mind, if you're not subscribed yet, please do, as it does mean a lot to me and it does help out, and you can always unsubscribe if you feel like it in the future. And also, the stickers for the My Little Pony main 6 and princesses as HAZBIN Hotel characters are still available in my Redbubble shop, which I linked down below in case you guys want your own collection. But that's it for this video. Thank you again, and I'll see you all next Mango Monday. Bye!